we are just observing the importance of user interfaces for a search system or maybe for any information system. The first purpose of interface is to provide the first layer of interaction to the user, right? So interaction means two things. First thing is primarily is the interaction to apply his query or maybe his interest, right? That is one particular part. Second is basically we could have a visualization, and on the visualized data user can interact. So we can have two possibilities, right? But essentially not all of the possibly available systems are having this
Excuse me,
visualized.
sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, your voice is very low. Can you?
What should I do? I'm not sure. Is it happening to each and every student?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. I'm not sure what is happening because network is stable, everything is fine. I'm getting a lot of.
Sir, kindly volume up your mic, please.
Okay, so I hope it is sufficiently okay. So basically, the next part of user interface discussion on the interface is related to the second aspect, which is query formulation, right? So because this is one of the important thing which we should discuss, it's the important features, right? So like in the previous two discussions we have taken the role of visualization on the interface, right? Like how you can plan the visualization. I mean, you can retrieve possibly information by having some retrieval model on the search system, but you need to place each and every retrieved data onto some portion of the interface, right? That's the important aspect. Uh, probably each and every type of information system or data system, we should be having this field called search box or query box, something like that, right? So because we are having this experience of different types of systems on the web, on maybe on the local systems also. So one thing is very important and it is noticeable also. These all existing systems are providing some sort of helps to the user while user is applying his query, right? So whenever you are typing a query on the search box, on a query box, there must be something, there must be some suggestion, some help to write the query, right? So there must be some option, there must be some highlight, there must be some list of items, something like that. So I hope you have this experience, like in the case of Google search, it is providing some sort of list of options. Whenever you write a simple letter, a single letter, it will provide you the list of possible options, right? That is the simplest way you can have. Similarly, in other system also, they are having some sort of help to the user, right? So whenever we are writing a query, whenever we are interacting with the system, the first interaction could be the typing of a query. You are writing a query onto the search box, right? So one thing is very important here. You should have this realization that you could have two possible help. So suppose you are designing a search system and you are trying to build a assistance to the user for the query. There is a term called query formation. So query formation could be the possible use case, the possible scenario for which you are trying to design an algorithm, right? So on the search system, particularly on the user interface, if you are trying to build a query formation assistance algorithm to help the user in the process of query formation, so we could have two possible use cases, right? So suppose you are trying to design algorithm for query formulation, you could have two possibilities. First possibility is that your algorithm, your program is able to help the user to start the search, right? That's the first possible first use case. Second use case could be your algorithm or your system is basically helping user to basically continue his search, to assist the user during the search. We have two possibilities, and if you have this experience with you, that Google search system is not helping you to start the search, he is not assisting you to frame the query. Google search system is helping you to continue your search, right? So if you open google.com and directly, I mean, if you expect that system will be helping you by some list of options, some list of value, it is not there, right? So once you type something onto it, it will basically start giving suggestions, start giving the possible list of expansion of your query, right? So there is a fine, there is a very fine line between these two use cases. First case is your system is able to help you or to help to the user to start the search. Second is system is helping the user, system is helping a person to conduct his search, right? These are the two possible cases. So there are very limited set of systems available to support the user in the first use case. First use case means how to start the search, right? So you are helping the user in the query formation to start the search, to initiate the search by providing some sort of help. Second is the how to conduct, how to continue, how to basically explore the results, something like that. So these two are the typical use cases, right? So let's understand what are the internal concepts related to these two use cases probably, right? So first thing is basically very important, which is uh, what are the different system component as far as search system concerned, because in search system we have this index database, document database, then we have evaluation system database. So we have three broad entities where we have kept some details, right? Because for any kind of assistance to the user, you will be utilizing or system will be utilizing these stored details, right? It is not like that index system or query processor system or maybe text acquisition, text transformation system will be directly helping search system to achieve these helps, right? You need to utilize the details stored in these three possible storage to achieve these possible formation helps to the user, right? So let's understand. So today's focus is to understand these scenario, which is called adaptive query formulation or query formation. So when we say adaptive, it means always uh, that your algorithm, your interface which you have designed is basically responding to a specific user. It is responding to the different users in a different ways, right? So adaptive always means whosoever is interacting with respect to that user, right? So when we say adaptive query formation, it means whatever query formation assistance we are giving to the user, it will be with respect to that user. In the second instance, if we have second user, the assistance will be with respect to that user and it will be in a different way, right? So query formation is basically is having two possible types, probably you can say query formation and query reformulation or query refinement, you can say, right? So because query reformulation is always related to the user's position into the search process, right? So in particular lecture we have taken this theory that a search process or the search task is having three stages, right? This pre-search means user is just trying to start the search. This in search means user is inside the search, has been already started, user is inside the search process, so it is somehow user is inside, he can be help or he can be assisted by some sort of refinements, reformulation process, right? So these two stages, pre-search and in-search, are related to these two use cases. So query formation is basically assistance or the possible state of pre-search uh, portion or pre-search phase of such task. Query reformulation or refinement is the state of query assistance during this inside or in-search task, right? So we don't have a specific strategy, a specific techniques to query formation, right? So that's why it is simply written, it is query formulation, right? So now query formation during pre-search is called query reformulation. But when we say query, no, query reformulation or query formulation during in search, it is referred as a reformulation because uh, we have raised first query. Now we are trying to understand more results. So we are now rewriting the query, or maybe we are trying to refine our query, right? So that's why most of the techniques for query related transformation are coming for query reformulation. So you can see completion, query completion, query suggestion, expansion, and relaxation. So there are possibly 11 or 12 different techniques to achieve some sort of reformulation, right? So you can correlate the meaning, like completion means, I mean, these terms are very closely related to each other, but when it comes to achieve these techniques, when it comes to implement these techniques, these are different in the sense that to achieve query completion, to achieve query suggestion, what are the input sources you are utilizing, right? That's one thing. Second, what are the technique you are adapting, you are utilizing, right? Like you can use the genetic algorithm based techniques to achieve query expansions, right? You can use some sort of anti-colony optimization based techniques to query completion, right? Something like that. So each and every strategy, at least query reformulation strategy, is having its internal nature, and based on that you can select a technique to generate these completion solutions, right? So there are 11 different techniques, or more than 11 basically you can have. uh, we have listed three or four here, right? But most of the techniques on the query uh, transformation or query reformulation are related to these kind of nature, where we are trying to suggest some sort of a help by utilizing the store details, right? Now if you see the possible possible highlights of the query formation or query reformulation strategy, the prime objective is naturally is to help a particular user, assist a particular user in his data request formation, right? That is the basically aim of any query formation or reformulation technique, right? So it will help user to draft, to prepare, to create the most optimal, most suitable or appropriate keyword or maybe term, right? Query term or query keyword, something like that. So it is a very human kind of task also, that whenever we don't have a specific thoughts or specific suitable words to express the feeling, express the emotions, express the thought process. So you need some sort of helps from different individuals. So similarly, whenever we are trying to you know understand the search results, whenever we want to collect the possible source of information, if a system is able to help you to draft or to create that query keyword, that will be a good help to the user, right? Because in the computer science, if you see this problem called cold start. So cold start situation is one of the difficult situation to deal with, as far as human being concerned, or maybe as far as system concerned, right? So whenever a user is not having a appropriate keyword, right, it is a typical scenario, we can say, as a cold start problem. But because user is not having any specific keyword or query term to start the search, so in this situation, if you provide any sort of help to this user to start the search, at least start the search, so that will be a great initiative, that will be a great assistance to the user, particularly to the naive user actually, right? because programmer users and expert users are often having their some sort of familiarity with the domain, or maybe some sort of familiarity with their user or information need, right? So that is there. And possibly during the search also, if your system is helping to the user by some sort of suggestion, or by some sort of auto completion expansion, a list of values, it will direct to the search, right? Otherwise user will be having a lot of interaction with the system, and he will be not accurately landing up the pages which will be the most suitable, most correct, or most relevant to the user, right? So the objective of any kind of query formulation or reformulation strategy is to assist the user in the data request or such task formulation, right? That is for sure. And its boundary or its position during the search is basically two parts of the search phase. First one is the pre-search, and then maybe inside the search process, right? And now the most important aspect is that what are the different system components which will help you to achieve these possible search assistance or maybe query formulation assistance. So if you can correlate, we have these possible data entities inside the search process, inside the traditional or the basic search system. So we could have index database, we could have data document store where we have listed all the possible data which we have extracted by the text acquisition phase. So right, and along with these two elements, so these two stores, index database and document data stores, basically these two components store all the possible extracted information, right? All the possible information extracted maybe from the internet, or maybe from the your desktop systems, or maybe from any web entity. That's one part. And along with it, we are having this third entity, possibly third entity, which is called evaluation database. uh, in this evaluation database, we could have this privilege of query logs. That is the primary thing we can maintain. All the previous queries could be maintained inside the evaluation database. We could have some data related to user, possible user relevance. So if user has engaged with the review results by applying some kind of bookmarking, some kind of negative positive feedback. So all these relevance feedbacks can be maintained inside this evaluation database. Similarly, user profile can also be maintained or retained in this database. And then is this last element, which is referred as a SERP, which is called search engine result pages, or maybe viewed pages. The copy of these results can be maintained in the this evaluation database, right? So to achieve any sort of query transformation strategy, you need to have these, or these three broad database entity to achieve these supports, right? Because it is very contextual that you should be having assistance to the user by having some finite set of records, right? That will be the most appropriate way of achieving the query formation, right? Now if you go inside the first use case, which is called query formation. So query formation says you are now going to support the user to start his search, right? So query formation is assistant to start a user search, right? User is not having any particular keyword or suitable keyword for his search interest. He's having a search task at hand, but he's not able to identify the appropriate keyword, or maybe he's not having the any idea or any specific familiarity with the possible suitable keyword. So that's why it is sometimes important to provide some sort of assistance, right? So you should have this idea that most of the nowadays most of the search systems or search platforms are providing some sort of, initially they are populating some keywords. So these keywords maybe they are uh, you know they could be just placed for the user reference. So it could be a set of keywords, So it is not related to any previous experiences of the user, right? So it could be a simple set of keywords. It could be a frequently searched keywords on the on the interface, or it could be a frequently appearing keyword from the store database, right? So you can take the help of index database, or maybe any previous explore data or explore results to derive these set of keywords, right? So to derive or to design a query formation strategy on the GUI and the interface, you can take out some helps from the index database, evolution database, to derive some set of keywords. So directly, if you now search into the Google Scholar platform, they are providing some keywords on the very first interface, right? So you can start some things by using these keywords. You can start for something. Some records may be appearing for you, right? So most of those techniques which you are trying to design for uh, query formation algorithms will be of nature unsupervised, right? So you can directly take this hint whenever you are trying to design a query formation algorithm or query formation module. You should be adapting a unsupervised approach, right? So if you want to design a strategy for query formation, you can take any unsupervised, unsupervised technique to design this algorithm, right? The broad objective here is to basically achieve a system or achieve an algorithm which will identify these set of keywords. It will have either simple set of keywords, or maybe frequently occurring or frequently search keywords, or maybe frequently or top 10 or top 20 kind of keywords from the stored database, right? So to achieve any sort of query formation strategy or algorithm, you need to primarily use index database, evaluation system database, right? Because in evaluation system database, we are getting basically all the possible user related informations, right? So we are maintaining all the possible user related or user uh, inclined information into the evaluation system database. So you can utilize either index database or evaluation database, or both, right? So it depends on the strategy or the algorithm approach which you have adapted, right? But challenge in the design of query formation is to again what to display or what to show, and how to estimate the relevance, right? So again, because we are trying to help the user to start his search, right? So it is very important to basically have some kind of pre-estimation or priori knowledge about the possible user's interest, like right. So like in the case of Google Scholar, if you directly look into the Google Scholar today, it is having some sort of query suggestion, keyword suggestion based on the, or maybe related to the COVID. So it is having display of term like COVID related keywords. So because it is contextual, it is happening, it is contemporary, right? So similarly, you need to have some relevance. So Google Scholar is suggesting these keywords because it has some estimation that now if anyone is looking into the Google Scholar platform, he might be interested to see these COVID related research articles, right? So this is something contextual. So it is very important to have a mechanism to understand, or mechanism to estimate that these these keywords will be attracting user when user will be reaching into the GUI. So it is very sensitive part of it. So because it will attract to the user, it will affect the whole system user engagement also, right? So from here, if you go to the next use case, which we are saying it is a query reformulation or refinement strategy. This use case is focused to provide assistance to the user during his search task, right? Because we are assuming that maybe after getting the first set of result also, user will be not able to you know use, or not able to identify a next possible terms to conduct his search, right? So you can have this strategy to help a user to form a query. But again, after reading to the top 20 or top 30 results also, it is possible that user is not able to conduct or continue his search. So now you have to help the user to frame or to form his next possible query. Now, because user has applied initial query, user has some sort of idea about the possible query, and you as a system designer having this privilege to at least have privilege of this 20 or top 50 or top 100 results. So now you can have a strategy. Now you can plan a algorithm to help him to write a query, right? So that's why most of the query reformulation strategy like completion, suggestion, expansion, relaxation are utilizing again the evaluation system database, because in this particularly they are utilizing SERP. SERP means search engine result pages. So they are, because based on the first query they have received or they have retrieved some sort of set of results to the user. Now you can have these SERPs, and you can take out the possible terms appearing in the SERPs, or maybe you can have the list of URL, something like that. So you can utilize SERP to uh, generate some sort of keywords, generate some sort of results, right? So again, so if you feel this thing, this difference, right? So if you go to the Google system and apply some keyword, and after getting the set of pages of the result, if you erase the keywords into the search box and type something, now it will start suggesting use with some set of possible helps to you, right? And these possible set of suggestions are coming from these pages which has been displayed to you after the first query, right? So they are utilizing the SERPs, right? So similarly, to achieve these features during this query reformulation phase, you can always utilize these SERPs. Similarly, along with the evaluation page, you can always use index database, right? In some approaches, like in the case of expansion, particularly query expansion or query relaxation, in the some of the existing approaches, they are also utilizing the document data store, right? So because they are assuming that whenever a user is adding or removing a keyword, right? So it is called expansion and relaxation. Whenever user is playing with the keyword, right? uh, for to achieve this possible expansion and relaxation, you need to utilize the base database. So document data store is one of the database where we are keeping each and every entity extracted from a web entity, right? So by utilizing the document store, you need to perform some kind of pre-processing, and based on this pre-processed data you can achieve this query expansion and query relaxation, right? Like if you understand the Google way of doing, a Google way of working, Google search system is providing all kind of query formulation based on the index database. They are basically sharing all the possible suggestions to the user, to the worldwide user, by utilizing the index database and some helps from the evaluation system database, right? So evaluation system database is having again a smaller smaller database, which is maintaining the maybe the previously imposed query. So based on the previously imposed query and its correlation with SERP, they are deriving the possible set of suggestions or possible set of auto completion for a user query, right? So these are the very generic features or generic outlines of these query formulation and formation, right? Now for the query reformulation strategy, the challenge could be basically is to how to implement each technique, each approach by existing tools and techniques, right? Because in the modern scenario we are having uh, ample amount of techniques including machine learning, AI based, and now we are getting hybrid techniques like deep learning and all these things. So you can adapt any technique and you can generate these assistance to the user. But to achieve the query reformulation strategy, you should always adopt a supervised approach, right? So why supervised? Because this query reformulation is the state during the search or inside the search. So we are assuming that a basic search has been already conducted. So it is with respect to that, right? So for a query reformulation strategy, this first search by user is kind of a supervised context, right? You cannot go beyond that. So whenever we are suggesting something to the user after or maybe during the second search, it should be always within the context of the first search, right? So it is that's why it is suggested or recommended that you should always have supervised approach, supervised tools to design a query formation techniques, right? So with this you can say because user interface over or on the top of any search system will have two elements. First element is the visualization, and maybe in a one particular portion of the interface we are having this search box or query box. So you can provide these mechanisms or these strategy to help the user while he is writing a query or starting the search, or as well as he whenever he is exploring into the results. So we could have two possible strategies, two possible supports to the user, and these actions like completion, suggestion, expansion, relaxations are one of the important factor or important aspect of a search system, right? Because they are significantly affecting the users engagement, users you can directly say that the usability of a search system or usability of a interface is directly proportional, directly related to these two features, formulation and reformulation, right? And in the literature also there are various research paper which has which has reviewed, which has analyzed the importance of query formation and reformulation support on the different search system and different interfaces, right? So I'm not going to discuss these details, conceptual details of these techniques because it is again related to